Hello viewers, this is your SSK and today we have an interesting story from Chandamama and the name of the story is Four Verses. Once the famous poet Vilochana of Benares paid a visit to the court of King Bhoja along with his wife, son and daughter-in-law who were all poets of a very high order. One conventional method of testing poetic talent was supplying part of a verse and asking the poet to complete it. King Bhoja offered the following lines and asked his four guests to complete the verse as best they could. The great gain there ends not by implements but by their might. Poet Vilochana recited, Agastya was born in pot, lived among wild beasts, wore the bark of trees, ate tubers for food, and yet he drank down the oceans in a gulp. The great gain there ends not by implements but by their might. Once the world was menaced by the demons, Kalakeyas who hide themselves in the oceans during the day and came out at night. To facilitate their destruction in daylight, Agastya, who was discovered in a pot and reared up by rishis, living in forests, drank down all the oceans in one gulp. Poet Vilochana was presented with a diamond of these verses, then his wife recited, on a chariot with a single wheel drawn by 7 horses, with snakes of reins and driven by a charioteer without legs, the sun comes and goes across the endless skies on a path that does not support. The great gain there ends not by implements but by their might. The legend goes that the sun's charioteer Anur, meaning the thighless, was hatched out of an egg. His mother, who was a slave anxious to be freed by her children, broke the egg prematurely and his legs were not yet formed. Vilochana's wife was awarded 12 precious stones and then her son recited, crossing the ocean on foot with monkeys as comrades in arms, a mortal, a mere foot soldier conquers the invisible Lanka and kills the great Ravana and his entire demon clan. This is a reference to Rama who built a road across the sea to Lanka, conquered Ravana and rescued his wife Sita who was abducted by Ravana, the monarch of Rakshasas. Rama's army had neither horses nor chariots. For these verses, Vilochana's son got 16 elephants and his wife recited, with a bow of flower with a string of bees, the looks of themselves of arrows and the topid moon assisting him, a bodiless being tortures the entire world. The great archery there ends not by implements but by their might. This is a reference of Manmatha, the love god of the Hindu lore. When he tried to make Lord Shiva fall in love with Parvati, Lord Shiva got furious and burned Manmatha to death. But later Shiva did wed Parvati. Rati, wife of Manmatha, begged Lord Shiva to give her back her husband. So he relented and granted that Manmatha should be alive even in a bodiless state. While the other poets referred to heroes of one particular time, this poetess referred to an invisible hero of all time. King Bhoja considered this verse to be the best of all and showered the young poetess with all sorts of presents.